Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sabrina. I'm an American expat living in Budapest, and this is my knitting podcast. If you follow me on Instagram, I'm DabriStudio there. And yeah, I just wanted to do an update since my last podcast, which I think was a few months ago. Let's just get into it. The first project is actually the one that I'm wearing right now, and this is the Palma Tea by Lene, I cannot say her name, Leknit by Lene Holme. Anyways, I'm sorry, I'm really bad with names. Anyways, so I love how this top turned out. There is one little problem. Actually, I think it's not that noticeable, and a lot of people told me it's not noticeable, but I think I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, and in the back of my mind I just notice the flaws and they bother me a little bit. So here, I don't know, something went wrong with the short rows, because this part right under the ribbing is not in pattern, so I think it looks a little bit funny, but anyways, it's totally wearable, and I'm thinking about frogging it back maybe, but I'm not really sure. I actually bought, this is done in Drops Belle. It's in the color, let me double check that. It's in the color 11, which is old pink. And I actually bought the yarn on sale because the Drops yarns were on sale a few months ago. Maybe not a few, just, yeah. They were on sale at some point in the last few months, and I also bought it in yellow, so I'm thinking that maybe I will try to cast this tea on again in yellow, and I will see if I manage to figure out what was the problem up there. And some of my friends on Instagram, they also suggested that why don't I, because this was knit top down, so if I wanted to undo it I would need to frog the whole thing. So they suggested that why don't I take it back from the collar and kind of go to where I made the mistake and try to do the short rows going up, which obviously would be maybe a little bit more complicated, but then I wouldn't have to undo the whole project. So I'm kind of thinking about that in the back of my mind, but it's definitely not a priority for me right now, because I think like it's wearable and it's not that bad. So yeah, we'll see how I feel about it in the future as I get more wear out of it. If I'm really annoyed still, then I think I might redo it, because what's the point of making your own clothes if you can't make them perfect for you? So this is my first finished object. This is my latest finished object as well. I have to say that this one really flew off the needles. I think it was done on 4mm, and while that's not that big, I've been doing a few projects which are with smaller needles lately, so it just felt like it went really quickly, and I'm really happy for that. I think the lace was really addictive to knit up, and like I said, I would definitely knit this project again, and I think I will because I have the yarn for it. She also has the peacock tee, which is a similar design. It's a t-shirt like this. It has the lace here on the top, on the yoke, and I'm thinking about that one as well, but I really want to do it in a blue color and not the yellow, so that's why I'm thinking about using the yellow to make another one of the Palma Tea. What I have to say about the Drops Belle, I was hearing a lot of reviews that it's a little bit dry, and it's definitely more on the dry side, but I wouldn't say that it's unbearable. I actually think I quite like it for what I bought it for. I bought it really cheap because it was, like I said, it was on sale then, so I think it was a really good deal for what I got, and I think it's really comfortable to wear. I don't have any complaints about it. So let me show you my next finished object, which is right here on the floor next to me. So we have here my knitted shorts, and I think you didn't see the finished object. You must have saw the whip in the last podcast that I did a few months back, and I mentioned there that these shorts really tested my patience, because I had to redo them so many times. I had to frog them. There was problems with the fit at first because they ended up being huge. They are still like a little bit like they have a lot of excess fabric here at the top by the waistband, but the waistband definitely did cinch it in, so I would say they fit me quite well now because I sewed in this elastic waistband, and then I had a lot of problems in the crotch area, picking up the stitches for the legs and stuff. There was a lot of holes in the crotch, which obviously that's not where you want to have holes at. So there was a lot of work with them, but I think it made me a better knitter in the end. And I'm really happy with them. I think they turned out really well. The yarn is also was the yarn that was recommended in the pattern, and I think it suits shorts really well. They are not getting worn out at all yet. They are not pilling or anything. You can see that they look pretty nice still, and I've gotten a lot of wear out of them. I really love them. They're very comfortable. The only thing is I need to figure out somehow to sew down the waistband because you know, there is like this pocket where the waistband is sewn in, and it's just kind of like free in there, so it kind of just like jumbles up. So whenever I take them on and off, like to go to the bathroom, the waistband gets all like jumbled up, and you need to kind of shimmy it around so that it lays flat. Anyways, I didn't even mention the pattern name, and I'm gonna double check it from my phone because I have everything written down on Instagram. If you ever have any question, I always write all of the information on my pictures. I write the designer, the yarn, the color, everything. And these are the Deima's Sporty shorts by Deima Patterns. She's a Danish designer. And like I said, the pattern, it wasn't the most well written or maybe well translated pattern into English, but it was doable, but I wouldn't recommend it for beginners at all. The yarn I used was by Lang Yarns. It's Norma in the color Lilac. And like I said, this yarn is amazing. I think I want to make another pair of shorts. I don't think I would make it from this pattern, although I'm pretty confident now with like how to work the pattern out, but I kind of want to try maybe a different design. But I think I might still use this yarn if I make another pair of shorts because it's really durable and it looks really nice. Okay, my third finished object and my last finished object, it was actually a test knit. It was a test knit for Knitting Deer on Instagram, Lucia. This was her first top pattern, and it's this beautiful Lucy tee, and it's done in half fisherman's rib. This is the first time I've worked in half fisherman's rib, and it was a little bit of a challenge, mostly because of the needles that I bought, because I have a knitting needle kit, but it didn't have the needle size that I needed in it, so I bought like a cheap pair, which was a really bad idea because they were like these bamboo ones, or like fake bamboo even, and they had like a plastic cord, and the needle just kept separating from the plastic cord, and I would have to stick it back in. So I was always like a little bit worried that it's gonna come undone and like drop all the stitches. And I'm not like super familiar with half fisherman's rib, so it was kind of a pain to ladder up in the stitch in the pattern, you know, because I'm completely comfortable laddering up in just like knits and purls, but half fisherman's rib was a little bit different to kind of pick up the loose stitches again. But anyway, so you have the construction. It has a beautiful neckline. It has these really nice increases. I don't know if it's really picking up on the camera. The shoulders are done in ribbing, and the body is done in half fisherman's rib, and I have to say I really like it. The yarn also, I used the yarn which she recommended, and it's amazing. I think it's my new favorite yarn. It's so soft. I have like a little bit of a sensitivity, I think, to certain types of natural fibers. Like some mohairs and wools are really itchy for me, and this is having cotton and merino, and it's just so soft and nice. It's not a downside, but I finished this I think at the beginning of July, actually the end of June, because that's when the test knit was up, and it's really warm for us now. We're having like 40 degrees here in Budapest a lot, like we just went through a heat wave, so I really didn't get to wear it yet, but which is so sad because it's such a really cute top. So that was the Lucia Tea by Knitting Deer, and let me just tell you the yarn. The yarn was from Lana Grossa, and it's the Ecopuno in the shade 70 Antique Violet. I was gonna say rose, but it's Antique Violet. It's this really lovely purple color. It has like a little bit of variegation in it, even like some darker areas, and like I said, it's just super soft. I would totally make something using this yarn again, and I'm using the leftovers now for something, which I'm going to show you, and why not I show you that one next. So let's get into my work in progresses. And this whip is the first of its kind for me. It's a knitted bra, or bralette, let's say. So it looks like this. I've done the right cup and I'm working on the left cup now. Oh, it's super cute. This is the first time I kind of see it on. It's really lovely. So it's the same yarn what I used for my Lucia Tea. I had some leftovers. Yeah, I've used about one skein for it now, and I have a little bit left over, so I think it's just going to be enough. This is the Shell Bra by Naked Knit on Instagram, and it's really lovely. They make a lot of like undergarments and stuff like that, and like I said, for me this yarn is super soft, so I don't mind to hold it to my bare skin. It's really, really lovely, and I really like it. And yeah, I think that it's very addictive to knit the stitch. I mean, it's just knits and purls, but I mean, if you see how it works up, it looks really lovely, this pattern. So it's really addictive. I was doing kind of like a mindless knit before this, which I will show you next, and I needed something like a little bit, you know, something to spice it up a bit, because I was getting a little bit boring of that one. So I quickly cast this one on, which is great because I'm using up some scraps, and just a really nice project. And so the next whip I have is, I need to check the name because the name is like a really long one and I always mix it up because this designer has a lot of similar, I would say, similar patterns. So I always forget what is the name. But, so this one is My Little Secret Crop by Jessie May. And if you know Jessie May, she's super popular on Instagram because her patterns are really well written, they're really size inclusive. And yeah, they're really great. I think they're really easy to make as well. So this is the version, I mean, you cannot really tell now because now I just kind of have a tube top going on, but this is the version that kind of has this like higher neckline. So I'm working on that now. I just cast off the back stitches. You can see here I have my stitches on hold for the straps, and now I'm just working it flat for the front part. The yarn that I'm using is a high-end fingering, 100% superwash merino. It's from a local hand dyer. Her name is Nina Hand Dyed on Instagram, I think, and she makes these really lovely high quality yarns, which I'm super happy to found her because I really wanted to try hand dyed yarns. And what else do I have to say about this? Well, this is not the first time that I made this. I made this and I didn't really have gauge, so I kind of just guessed which size to make, and I ended up making a smaller one because my gauge was a bit bigger than the sample, and it turned out a little bit too small. I was just looking at it and I was doubting myself. I kept trying it on and being like, it's stretchy, so I think it's gonna be fine, but in the end I completely finished it and it wasn't that comfortable, and I decided to frog it back and do it again. And the second time it actually went a lot faster for some reason. I don't know how, but this body took a very long time. But I'm really happy that I frogged it back because, like I said before, the whole point of making your own clothes is to make them so that they fit you really well. And I don't want to just make something to post it on Instagram and get some likes and then shove it in the back of my closet. Like, I want to get wear out of this, so it's gonna get wear. Like, it's gonna fit me now, and I think it's really lovely. I love this pink color, it's so nice. Although I think when I wash it, it will fade a little bit. It will not be so bright, but that's fine. I think it's still gonna be really lovely. And yeah, like I said, the yarn is from Nina Hand Dyed Yarns, and it's in the colorway Gabrielle. And like I said, she's a local dyer here in Budapest, but she also has an Etsy shop, so if you're interested, to get your hands on some of her nice yarn, you can check her out there. I have one last whip, and I think this whip I also showed you in my last podcast. At least I should have. I think I've been working on it for a really long time, and that's kind of because like I could have finished it, but it's not really the best knit for the weather now, so I got kind of demotivated. But anyways, this is my April cardigan by Petite Knit, and this is, well, let me just check the colors for you because I don't know them off the top of my head anymore. So I held together Sunday and Camel and the Tynn Silk Mohair and Burnt Sugar. They are both from Sandnes Garn. And as you can see now, I have picked up all of the stitches to knit the button band, and I had the same problem as with the Lucia because I was using 3mm needles, those really bad ones, and I tried to pick up the button band for this, but there was just no way I could do it on those really poorly made needles. So I've been waiting. Now I put them on a cable from my set, and I've just been waiting so that I buy another 3mm needle, which I have, but then it was 40 degrees here and I didn't want to knit anything with mohair and wool, so it's kind of been just sitting in the pile, but I think I will pick it up here shortly because I do want to see it finish. Not like I will wear it now. I mean, there might be some cool summer night where I could still get some use out of it, but I think it's just like a relief to have it finished. I don't have something that's half made lying around, and you know, once the cooler weather comes then I will have it ready and it will be awesome. This yarn combination for me, it is a little bit itchy, or right now it feels itchy. I haven't blocked it yet. It's not the worst ever, but yeah, I think I might not make something in mohair again, although I'm really attracted to how the mohair looks, and there's a lot of projects that I want to make that use only mohair and stuff like that, so I'm thinking I really want to try the Knitting for Olive mohair because I've heard a lot of really nice things, that it's really soft, and you know, so I might splurge and try to get some skeins of the Knitting for Olive mohair, and I might try to make something with that and really decide if I can tolerate mohair or not, but for now this is what I've got. And yeah, those were all my projects. So I had 3 finished objects and 3 work in progresses, and I don't know how many months it's been since my last podcast, but I would say maybe that's like 2 projects a month. I mean, I've been working on like 2 projects a month, maybe 3, something like that, who knows, it doesn't really matter, but yeah, I think I like this pace that I'm going at, and I really like doing summer knits. Mainly, I think I will do actually more summer knits into the fall as well, because I'm a very like hot-blooded person, so I haven't found that I got a lot of wear out of the sweaters that I do have. So I think I'm leaning more towards knits like this now, and you can imagine that in the fall when it gets cooler you can just throw a cardigan or something on top of that. And so I think I'm leaning more towards those kind of knits, more tank tops, more tops, and some cardigans and stuff like that. And I've really been enjoying doing that, so I think I'm going to continue with it. I think it fits into my wardrobe really well. And now for the end of the podcast, I want to show just a few acquisitions. I mean, they're really not that exciting. Like I mentioned, I got the Drops Belle. This is in the color 4, I think. It's Dandelion. And yeah, I got this to make another one of the Leknit patterns. I think it will become a Palma Tea. I got 6 balls of this. I ended up using just under 6 balls for this top, so perfect amount. Like I said, it was on sale, it was really cheap. So yeah, I'm not really sure now about the color. I don't know if it suits me or not. I've actually been kind of working with, or I did a marathon with a personal stylist who is living here in Budapest. She's also a foreigner, so we've been going through kind of like colors that are good for me colors that are like suitable for my features, for my skin, not just skin tone, but like my contrast. I have a high contrast face, I don't know, and I have round features, so I'm not sure if this color is the best for me now, but I bought it, so I'm probably gonna use it anyway. Not probably, I will eventually. And the second thing that I picked up from the Drops Belle was this Drop Paris, and I have no idea what, this is color 63. I think it's, I don't know, I don't remember. But I bought this to make the pink shell top, I think. It's a free drops pattern. And also, again, with this color, not sure if it's my best color. I think pastels, even though they're my favorite, they're not really like going with my face, I don't know, however you want to call it. Like this pink that I'm wearing now, I think this pink is really flattering for me. So I think it's something a little bit darker is something what I might lean towards in the future. But anyways, I think I will make a top from this. This was also very cheap. So I think that making a summer top from it, it definitely will not go to waste like that. And the last thing that I have is actually a hand-dyed yarn. And I bought this a few months ago because there was like a hand-dyed yarn festival here in Budapest. And that's where I also bought the pink yarn that I'm using to make the crop top. This one is from I don't know how to say her name. Dotka Dye Works, let's just say it like that. This is the Histia in the color Periwinkle. It's 56% superwash merino and 44% super kid mohair. I've never seen like a mohair and merino blend wool. Maybe that's a thing, I'm not really sure. But I went for it. It feels really soft. I just completely undid that skein and I have no idea how to redo it so that it's all pretty again. I'll hold it like this. So it feels soft, it feels nice. I did make a swatch in this though and it felt kind of stiff. Like I like a more flowy fabric. It felt kind of stiff, so I don't know exactly what I'm going to use this for. Normally when I buy yarn I always have like a project in mind for it because otherwise I just get like super stressed out, which is kind of how I feel about this yarn. So I really don't know like what I'm gonna use it for. I kind of want to make like a little like t-shirt cardigan, like I don't know, something like short sleeved and warm. I think that could be cute. I might do that, but I don't know. I think it's definitely not the top of my project list now because obviously it's merino and mohair. It's not the best for this weather that we're having now, but in the fall I will definitely use it. And I think that's about it. Like I said, I don't have a whole lot to share today, but I think that the projects that I had I'm really happy about. I think that they're really special for me, and yeah, I think that's important. I'm trying to cut down on my wardrobe, I guess. I'm trying to get rid of stuff that I don't wear, and I think I'm trying to be really mindful about what I knit. I think that's really important because knitting is an expensive hobby. I think we can all say that. And yeah, why buy stuff that you're not gonna wear? Why buy yarn that you're not gonna use? That's kind of like the mindset where I'm at now, so I'm trying to be really thoughtful in like my purchases and, you know, like the sustainability behind it, because that is also kind of why I started it, for the sustainability aspect. And I think that also needs to be taken into consideration for me, and I'm really happy with myself. I think I've been more or less doing it pretty well. Obviously not 100%, but I'm trying. I didn't buy any yarn this month, so I'm proud of myself, and maybe I'll treat myself on a little splurge next month. We'll see. Thanks for tuning in. If you made it this far, feel free to subscribe. If you also have a yarn or a knitting podcast, drop it down below. I'd love to watch it and follow you. And I'm also on Instagram. Like I said in the beginning, I'm DabriStudio. You can follow me there. I'd love to chat about knitting stuff. And yeah, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye!